Shola Olatoye, leaving after 4 years in one of the toughest jobs in city government. This morning we talked to her about the recent controversy surrounding her agency and her departure. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Up Close. I'm Bill Ritter. Shola Olatoye leaves NYCHA on April 30th. She made the announcement earlier this month after she toured the Ocean Bay Bayside houses in the Rockaways with Mayor de Blasio. She has been the chair of NYCHA for 4 years, and lately the agency has faced increased criticism from so many quarters. During her tenure, the city's Department of Investigation concluded she falsely claimed NYCHA apartments had been inspected for lead paint when they had not been. But the mayor has defended her and says she has helped keep NYCHA from bankruptcy and helped modernize the agency. And the outgoing chair joins us this morning. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Great to be here. Thank you.
You are smiling, you're upbeat, you're optimistic about your future, and yet why are you leaving?
Well, first of all, it has been the honor of my professional life to get the opportunity to serve New Yorkers, to serve my city. And when I took this job, I said to the mayor, "You got 4 years," and that's what I committed to, and I feel like not only given the investment that this administration has made in public housing, the significant work that we've done in this turnaround effort, and the path forward, even with the challenges, I feel confident that the next team can move forward, and it is a good time for me to move on.
A year ago last month, you were on the show, sitting right in that very seat, and I don't remember someone as passionate about their job as you were. And I remember I said to our producer afterwards, this woman wants to really turn around NYCHA and really make it different, bring it into a modern era. And we're going to talk about your accomplishments because you've done many things. But I would have thought you had been here through a second term.
You know, look, I think, as I said to my team earlier this week, no one owns these jobs, right? You serve at the pleasure of the mayor. You hope to come in, do some good work, and leave with your soul intact. And I feel like that's what I've been able to do, notwithstanding the very real challenges that the 1 in 14 New Yorkers do face. But, you know, I think for the agency and for me, this is a perfect opportunity for me to, and for the administration, frankly, to take the work that's been done in NextGen, work with the various stakeholders who have put public housing, you know, on their agenda items, and move forward ultimately to improve the health and safety and lives of New Yorkers.
But Shola, other people underneath you have lost their jobs amid this controversy. The mayor backed you clearly. He supported you in all the. I researched this up and down, and there was absolutely no wiggle room in his support for you. While other people lost their jobs with the whole lead inspection controversy. Were you pressured to leave? Were you forced out? Yeah, those are the questions.
Yeah,
Were you forced out?
You know, again, I asked the mayor if he wanted me to go, and we both agreed that there was still work to be done. And, you know, look, I think ultimately when one takes on the task of turning around any organization, but certainly a large, complicated bureaucracy, there are things that you're going to find. There are people who, you know, need to be moved, et cetera. That is part of the kind of change that we've been a part of, that we've helped to lead. Is there more work to be done? Absolutely. But, you know, I think, you know, it's a natural time in the administration. A number of my colleagues, you know, have gone on. And so I feel confident and frankly, you know, good about the work that we've done and also really laying out a blueprint for how this agency can move forward, but more importantly, how the residents, that is the focus. It has always been my focus. How do we improve what's happening in people's homes? And there has been very good work that has occurred. There's still a lot more to do, as you and I have spoken about on this very show. You know, this has been 30 years worth of failure that has you know, sort of been has laid at our doorstep. So in 4 years, bringing the agency back from essentially financial insolvency, driving down repair times, starting a Sandy recovery program that was stuck long before we got here, getting $1 billion of new capital invested into our buildings with new facades.
And that's real money, that's happening.
That's real money, that's happening. There's 62 roofs that are now new, lights that are literally bringing light to our community. So there's a lot that has been done, and there's a lot more to do. And I think, you know, what has been so important to me, and probably something that we've not talked a lot about, is the investment in the men and women who work at the authority. You know, there are almost 11,000 people who work at the authority. a third of whom are residents, actually. And we've spent a lot of time trying to think about how you invest in those people. How do you help them do their jobs better? A lot more to do, but everything from technology to new training and development to new partnerships with the universities has been part of our effort to not only invest in people's homes, but in people's jobs as well.
NYCHA has always been sort of a hot potato and a kicking ball for a lot of people, but never as much as in the last year. The governor's been there, the mayor's been there. NYCHA now sort of involved in the middle, but in a political fight between those two. The federal government's now involved, not just with cutting budgets, but with inspecting it and bringing in inspectors and whatnot. What is that doing to morale of the people who work there and the people who live there?
Thank you for asking that question. You know, it's a couple things. I've had the pleasure of now visiting almost 315 of our 325 developments, and you know, talking to the men and women who work there and the residents. I think people realize that there are real challenges, and they're not shying away from that. Nor am I, but also recognizing that these are good, hardworking people who want the same thing for their families as I want for mine, which is a safe and decent place to live, and are concerned about the portrayal of them as a monolith. One, two, that you know, that there hasn't been real progress, but also that people have been living in the shadows for 30 years. So, look, I think the opportunity here is never waste a crisis. This is an opportunity to unite 3 levels of government and the city to think about what kind of city do we want to be, and how do we ensure that everyone has the right to live in a safe and decent home.
But just play devil's advocate. Part of that would be having all the workers at NYCHA, and the inspectors, all the people who run it, be honest about whether lead paint was inspected for. And clearly, many people who work for you were not honest about it throughout the years and worked for people before you. They were not honest about it. So that hurts the public perception of the people running NYCHA.
Look, I've never said that, you know, there were not challenges at the authority. And again, as part of any turnaround effort, you're going to find, I'm a problem solver. You find problems. That's been part of our work. And, you know, we have immediately, you know, moved to address these compliance issues, working in concert with the Southern District, et cetera. And I think it's been really important to have a shared sense of accountability, one, and then actually create an infrastructure to allow the agency to move towards compliance. Because ultimately, we have to ensure that people's homes are safe.
And now there's a compliance officer for the first time
That's correct.
ever that was appointed by the mayor. The biggest accomplishment in your last 4
I
years?
think launching the largest development program in our agency's history, if not in the country, is really important. We have over 15,000 units of public housing that will be preserved and renovated through the federal rental assistance demonstration program. We've also have something that, you know, many have tried and few have succeeded, which is starting to build mixed income housing within the portfolio. Yes, we have a housing crisis in the city, but the authority also needs money to fix up the very buildings that people are concerned about. And that's going to be real dollars and real change in people's apartments.
Your biggest regret? The lead paint inspection?
You know, look, I think that there are many things that any leader will look back on, whether it is having information sooner and earlier to act upon. But let's not forget, in 2014, when we came in, what we walked into, which is an organization that had about 3 weeks of cash on hand and repair times that were taking too long, and, you know, programs that were not moving and serving the needs that they were designed to. So, you know, I've made hard decisions. We've made some enemies in the process, but, you know, more importantly, I think the work and the data speaks for itself, and hopefully, you know, the next team can move forward and build on that.
Good luck. I know this has not been easy. You've been accused of things one way or the other, and I know it hasn't been easy, but you do have some accomplishments.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you, Shola.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on.